This is Melissa Esparza. Melissa is a biology major at the University of Texas at El Paso, studying to take her MCAT, an entry exam for medical students.
It's just the one exam that every student dreads. It's a lot of content, it's a lot of sciences, and it even has reading and comprehension. And it's like a lot of us describe it as a monster because they say a lot of people don't really perform as they should, and it's almost discouraging.
Melissa started her own private tutoring service where college level students can seek out her knowledge on biology, general chemistry, organic chemistry, biochemistry, and genetics.
Well, I had been tutoring some friends on the side, and I had just been doing it to be nice and things. And I realized a lot of my friends were like, dude, you actually can do this. You helped me out so much on my exam, or you did a study sheet for me and it worked out. You should do this as a job. And it had always been in the back of my mind throughout college. Maybe I should do it. And one day I went out a limb. I put my 2 weeks in, and I was like, I'm gonna try doing tutoring. I'm going to do it and see if it works out.
Melissa is no stranger to diving in headfirst into new experiences. It was only 10 years ago that she and her family moved to El Paso from Chihuahua, Mexico. She says it was a culture shock.
I am the oldest, so I have younger siblings, but I was the one that was going through everything first. And I remember having to learn what FAFSA was and all these things by myself. And I would have to ask my parents to sign paperwork, and they'd be like, what is this for? And I'm like, just do it, help me out here. So it is hard being the first I'd probably be the first doctor in my family, and it's our first time in the US, so I'm basically living everything for the first time here.
In her journey preparing for medical school, she realized that
The student, you should always realize that the way that you are taught something isn't the way that you should learn it.
So, we got Melissa to share some of her top studying tips that she's developed during the pandemic.
Find out what works for you. Are you a visual learner? Are you an auditory learner? Can you read textbooks, or do you need an audio book? And that's my first tip would be to find a method that works for you. Personally, for me, I could not study in my room. If I tried studying in my room, I would either fall asleep or I would just go on my phone, and I wouldn't be productive. So I started going to coffee shops. You should find a space that works for you. The moment that I got a desk, I became very productive, and I almost forgot that my bed was right next to me. It is okay to take breaks. I put a lot of pressure on myself when I feel like I'm wasting my time when I'm not studying. But something that really helped me out was to talk to other people and see how they study, and they tell me, oh no, I took the day off today. So it's very important that while you're studying, especially if you're going over content, take a break. If you studied for an hour, take 10 minutes, 10 minutes off, go on a walk, make yourself some food, anything that will distract you in order for you to properly digest that information. Because if you sit down for 3 hours and read, it's not going to stick if you keep doing something over and over again. I like feeling like it's not a chore, and that I like giving myself time to read and able to comprehend, and I take notes as I'm reading, because that way I'll keep actively going in and back and forth and back and forth, and that way I don't get lost in the reading and overwhelmed. So when I do read textbooks, I like to do them in my couch. I like to read textbooks even if it's sitting in my bed, because I find it relaxing for me. If I'm doing problems, or if I'm taking a quiz, I do like to go on my desk and work things out right back. Or if I'm going to class, I never really go to class in my bed. I realize that it is very dangerous, and I will fall asleep in my bed. I'll go to a coffee shop and I'll do my classes there. That way it forces me to stay up and active, and I'm sipping my coffee, taking notes. Just it's important to be educated, because we take education as a right, when in reality it's a privilege. A lot of people do not get to go to college. And that's something that I have to remind myself every day. Find a balance between your mental health and your studying, because in the end, that balance that you're building right now, you're going to be able to apply into the work field.